If you have anterior pelvic tilt, I'm going to show you one very important step that most people miss in fixing it. What's up guys, Josh from Upright Health, where we help you think right, move right, and feel right. If you have anterior pelvic tilt, be sure to check out our free exclusive videos on fixing it. In these videos, we teach you various exercises to fix your anterior pelvic tilt, and we answer the question that everybody wants to know. How long does it take to fix anterior pelvic tilt? Anterior pelvic tilt has become an extremely popular topic on the internet. Any trainer that has an anatomy book can look and say, okay, these are the things that need to loosen up, these are the things that need to strengthen, and we'll put a Band-Aid on it and send you on your way. But what a lot of the time we're missing is the actual control of your spine and your pelvis. Yes, we need to strengthen and stretch muscles, but we also need to learn some awareness of the body. That's what we're gonna do today. So it's common knowledge that when you have anterior pelvic tilt, the muscles on the front of the thigh generally get tight. The glute muscles aren't activated or strong enough to pull you into posterior pelvic tilt. And a lot of the time the core is weak as well. But just simply trying to strengthen these muscles in isolation doesn't ensure that we'll actually fix the posture. Today's exercises are going to teach us how to actually bring us back into a good resting posture. This exercise is called the supine pelvic tilt. This is one of the easiest ways to start gaining control of your pelvis and your spine. Because if you don't know what a neutral pelvis and spine feels like, you'll never be able to get yourself there when you're doing other life activities. So to do this exercise, you're gonna come down on your back. We're gonna start with the knees and the feet up like so. And from here, if you have anterior pelvic tilt, you'll probably start in this position where I can kind of put my hand in the small of my back here and my pelvis is tilted forward. So from here, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna tilt back the other way. Now, the best way to think about doing this is by flattening the back to the ground and trying to just tuck my tailbone under me, okay? So now, I'm in posterior pelvic tilt here, right? And this is the position that we're trying to train to be more aware of, to get ourselves here more often. And now we can let the pelvis come back into anterior tilt, and then we scoop the hips under and we come to posterior tilt. So you shouldn't be able to get your hand in here when you're in posterior tilt. So we can do some reps, and then maybe on the last rep, we go ahead and just hold this position, okay? And try to get comfortable here. Now, to make this exercise harder, I'm gonna put my feet out, okay? Having the hips flexed helps you be able to control this, right? Now that I don't have that flexion of the hips, it's gonna be harder to control my pelvis. But once again, we're gonna start in anterior tilt, and then I'm gonna tuck my hips under, I'm gonna flatten that lower back to the ground, and now I'm in posterior. I can come back. Once again, I can do reps, and I'm starting to develop more control and awareness of where my pelvis is in space. And on the last rep, we can hold this position, really just trying to flatten that lower back down to the ground. So this exercise is essentially allowing us to find the extremes of our pelvis range of motion into anterior tilt and to posterior tilt. Now, we don't want to be tucked into posterior tilt while I'm walking around all day, but because we are more so comfortable in this extreme of anterior tilt, getting us to find the other extreme of posterior tilt can help us find more of what would be a neutral position for you to go about your day. The next exercise is prone pelvic tilts. This is essentially the same exercise, but now laying flat on your belly. So let's come down to the belly here. I'm gonna start with, you can just kind of put your hands underneath your chin here to support your head a little bit. And once again, just coming into a resting position, it's natural for your pelvis to kind of sit into some anterior tilt and your back to arch a little bit here. That's gonna be our starting position. But just like our other pelvic tilts, we are going to move into posterior tilt. Now, the way that we're gonna do that is by trying to lift the belly and scoop the hips under. So I lift through my stomach up. Right now I can fit a hand in here. You can maybe do that too, depending on your body type. And my hips tuck under me, right? So now I'm in posterior tilt. And once again, we can do some reps here. So I let my pelvis fall back into anterior tilt. I scoop under, I lift the belly. I'm in posterior tilt. Another helpful cue is to think of bringing your rib cage in to lift that belly. And on the last rep, we can just go ahead and hold this for time, a time that's appropriate for you, really making sure to engage all the muscles that are helping me stay in this posteriorly tilted position. Now, to make this a little bit harder, what I can do is I can put my hands out in front of me. Now that my arms are overhead, this makes this movement a little bit more challenging, but we're gonna go through the same thing. Anterior tilt, posterior, lift the belly, and we do some reps. And on the last rep, we can hold for time again. These two exercises are great to use for a warm-up. I recommend doing anywhere from 10 to 20 repetitions, and then on the last rep, holding anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds. When it comes to fixing your anterior pelvic tilt, multiple things are important. Stretching and strengthening is important, and learning how to control your body is important as well. For more strengthening and stretching exercises, check out our free exclusive videos on fixing anterior pelvic tilt. All right, guys, have fun exploring and correcting your pelvis position. If you like the video, be sure to like it, subscribe to Upright Health, and remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.